making sure that our marriages not only stay blissful, but continue throughout to add upon that bliss.
Yes.
Because you don't
You gotta work at this thing for it to grow. I mean, like we can start out blissful, but if we want to keep it that way, we have to continually
I
work
know
at
when I
that.
look at my flowers and they
Hmm.
look nice in the
Yep.
summertime, if I don't do anything, they're not going to continue to stay that way. I want
Right.
them to, even though they may look nice and they're a little small, I want
Yes.
them to get bigger and
And
bigger
blossom and
and bigger.
bloom.
And they
Yes.
look so beautiful when all of the beauty and the colors are taking up all of the space, as opposed to just having, when they're nice and full bloom and they're this big, but they can get so
So
much
much
bigger.
bigger.
And that's what you want your marriage to be, so much bigger than what it was or has been, but what it could be. And that's
Yes.
where we have to make sure that being in the same book means that we're both married. We're both
Yes.
in the same book, but we have to be on the same page if we want our marriages to blossom.
Oh man, you said a mouthful right there.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts from you?
My last thoughts are:
Mm-hmm.
we're in the same book,
We're in the same
right?
book. Yes.
We're in the same book, and I like to say my book of music. Just make sure we're on the same song. All right. I mean, because it'd sound really horrible if we were singing two separate songs out of the same book. So
Yeah.
let's get on the same page and let's work through some of these things and have this conversation. Let's make sure that if you say we need to have something from the store and you need to get dinner, let's find out exactly who's going to pick up dinner or
Let's
pick up
let's
pick up something from
listen
the store.
better. Let's
Right.
listen.
You have to be intentional.
Let's not think that has been
Right.
answered in our heads.
Exactly. That, or it could be a bill. Well, you said you were going to pay that. No, I just asked you when it was done, or when it was due. It was due on this day. Okay, that's what I was asking. I was just asking verification. I didn't say I was going to pay it on that day. See, so, but again, on the same book, different page. So there's many different instances we can go through and show you that where you're not on the same page. So be intentional in your marriage and try to get on the same page in every aspect of your life.
And it doesn't matter where you are in your marriage, you can start today.
That's it. You can
Marriages
start
can
today.
get it's if your house is dirty, right? It doesn't matter how dirty it is. You can always clean it and you can start today. And the reason why I said it is because we think that, we don't know where to start in our marriage. Is that it is where it is, and it is what it is. Like it's so
Yeah.
dull. It's what do I do? There's always a place to start. Start today. Start doing something. Move the needle somewhere, right? Try different avenues. Find out what works for you and your mate. Find out, how can we just sit down, whether it's over dinner or something. Start the conversation on how to communicate, how to express, for each person to know what they need in the relationship, how to deal with kids and in-laws, how do we deal with emergencies,
Yes.
how do we talk about where we're going in the future, what does our retirement look like, what does our before retirement look like, what is our goal as far as the pinnacle of our careers. Absolutely. So
What
talk.
happens if we have to just jump up and move due to our careers?
What if one person is in a career that they're unhappy with?
Mm-hmm.
What about that? What if your mate is unhappy at work and then
But it pays well.
exactly. So then
Mm-hmm.
that comes into your marriage. So what are we going to do in that case? Is it worth getting money and you being miserable and unhappy? So those are things that we should talk about, because if my mate is happy at work, maybe that's not the career they need to be in. Maybe we need to switch. Maybe we
You
need
mean
to
not happy at work?
if your mate is not happy at work.
Okay.
Right. If your mate is not happy at work and they want to switch careers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is stuff that we need to think about, because where I am today doesn't mean I have to be there tomorrow if it's going to benefit my relationship. Everything that we do plays a part in our relationship. The hours that we work, the time that it takes away from your home, the time that it takes away from your kids, everything that we do. Mostly important, are we going to worship at the same place? Are you a spiritual person? Are you not a spiritual person? Are you willing to, so these are things, because if you have a relationship with God, then, we always hear this, it's very important to be equally yoked.
Yep.
It means
And that can cause a problem, obviously, for obvious reasons.
absolutely.
So, and again,
resentment and all other
Right.
kind of things, because we have to be on the same page.
yeah.
And not saying that both parties have to be deeply or equally spiritual, but it makes the relationship so much better.
And if
But if
one
it's
is
not, that's something that you discuss and you
right, but if
talk
one
about.
is a little bit more more spiritually advanced, then you support that person in that spiritual involvement. The way they go through their little spiritual journey, right? Their spiritual journey. That's what I'm trying to say.
And
So
if
yeah,
the
it's
other
just you have to be
person,
supportive if you're not so
but you can't
spiritually
force
inclined.
it. You
Right,
can't force it. And that's what I
right.
mean. These are things that we have to talk about in marriages. If that has been if one person goes to church and the other person doesn't, and one person is resentful of it, these are things we have to talk about. This is the person you married. This is the person that you said I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. So now we have to figure out a way that we're both supportive of each other, right?